If you take a look around my room, it's no secret that I am a big fan of Pokemon, and I have been ever since I first played Pokemon Emerald on the Game Boy Advance SP. I played video games before that, but I credit that game as the game that sparked my passion for video games. Ever since then, I bought almost every single Pokemon game as a pre-order, and that includes both versions. My love for Pokemon didn't stop at just video games though. I bought toys, cards, books, clothes, pretty much everything you can think of. And if anyone was ever growing out of their old Pokemon stuff, they would just donate it to me because I was the Pokemon freak. Through the years, I've amassed quite the interesting Pokemon collection. And today, while I was putting on my pants, I was looking around my room at all the cool Pokemon stuff I have, and it led me to wonder, what's the coolest Pokemon thing I have? I decided to explore that idea in a video, and so I present to you my top 10 coolest Pokemon things I own. Let's begin. Number 10 on my list is the Johto Legends vinyl from I Am 8-Bit. I just recently started collecting vinyl, and when I discovered that this existed, I knew I had to have it. Unfortunately, it was sold out when I went looking for it, and it costs way too much on eBay. I lucked out one day on a ride home when I Am 8-Bit did a special sale, and I happened to catch the tweet right when it went live. Surprisingly, there were still some left, so I bought it immediately without even thinking. It was definitely the right decision, because I was blown away when it arrived. The artwork is beautiful and shiny, and the gatefold is high quality. Plus, the actual vinyl is colored to look like a Pokeball, which is a super cool detail. The music is fantastic, and it's lovely to hear those classic songs performed by a real orchestra. It almost seems like a miracle or a dream that such a thing exists. It's awesome that Pokemon music is on a vinyl record of all things, and that's why it's number 10 on my list. Through the years, I've gone through several phases of collecting Pokemon cards. However, I got the most cards and arguably the rarest cards from other people growing out of their old cards. One of those cards is none other than a base set Mewtwo holo card. I don't remember when or from whom I got this card, but it has remained in a sleeve for a long time, and so it's in very good condition. I have lots of old Pokemon cards, but this is one of the coolest, not only because it's a piece of history, but because it's frickin' Mewtwo, one of the most iconic Pokemon of all time. It would be a sin to leave this out of the list. And I bet some of you think it's a sin that it's so low on my list. Either way, it deserves a place here, and so I gave it number 9. The newest addition to my collection is the Cherish Ball replica from the Pokemon Center in collaboration with the Wand Company. I got this on Christmas of 2022, so just a little while ago. The display box seems a little cheap and gets caught a little when I open it up, but the ball is extremely high quality. It is made of metal and high quality plastic, and it is heavy. I feel like I could probably knock someone out with this. Well, not that I would, but like I imagine any Pokeball would be, it feels very throwable. I guess that's good design. Anyway, what makes this replica so cool is that it lights up like a real Pokeball, and overall, it feels like I think a real Pokeball would feel. I wanted the Cherish Ball because I imagine a really special Pokemon would reside in it. Maybe Deoxys, or another mythical Pokemon that you can only get in events and special distributions. I would love to have the Master Ball equivalent of this, but I missed out on it because it sold out instantly. Maybe one day I'll have a Master Ball. But for now, the Cherish Ball will do just fine as number 8 of the list. Number 7 on the list is the pre-order bonus figurines for Pokemon Platinum, Heart Gold, and Soul Silver. I know, this isn't just one item, it's actually 3. It might be a controversial decision, but this is my video, so challenge me to a Pokemon battle if you don't approve. Anyway, these figurines are actually pretty rare. I would have pre-ordered the games anyway, but the addition of cool figurines made it that much sweeter. It seems like not many people know about these, so if this is your first time hearing about them, then keep an eye out for them at garage sales, because they're so cool. Plus, they're valuable, so if you can find them cheap, definitely pick them up. Especially if they still have the box. Unfortunately, I kinda mauled this box, which was a big mistake, but it's not that bad, and I managed to preserve the other boxes. Plus, a mauled box is better than no box at all. I wish that they would still do this because it was one of my favorite parts of pre-ordering games. Getting the new game and a new figure made the experience even more memorable. And that is why these figures are number 7. As you may have expected, seeing the pre-order figurines, the next items on my list are Pokémon Heart Gold and Soul Silver limited editions. These, paired with my pre-order figurines, could be the most valuable items on the entire list. The boxes, the manuals, the games, even the Pokewalkers, which still work. It's all here, in all its Generation 4 glory. The Pokewalkers themselves are some of the coolest Pokemon stuff on their own. Being able to communicate with the games, allowing you to take one of your actual in-game Pokemon with you wherever you went, was one of the coolest things ever. As far as I remember, this was the first piece of technology that made Pokemon feel real. And in my eyes, this is the first Pokeball, and it felt like it when I carried it around. I felt like a real Pokemon trainer, and that is why these are number 6 on my list. Paving the way into the top 5 is the commemorative card for the Pokemon Black and White Tour. Back in early 2011, something truly magical happened, and it was called the Pokemon Black and White Tour. It went across America to promote the release of Pokemon Black and White. Luckily, it came to where I live. I begged my dad to take me, and even though he was unemployed at the time, he took me, and it was one of the most fun days I have ever had in my life. Talk about Dad of the Year. The place was absolutely crawling with Pokemon fans, and I suddenly didn't feel so weird about liking Pokemon anymore. This event truly made Pokemon feel real. At this magical event, there were inflatables, statues, places where you could sit and watch the TV show, a pop-up Pokemon Center, which was special because there were only ever Pokemon Centers in Japan at the time, and a special showing of the newest Pokemon movie, Zoroark, Master of Illusions. If you went to see this movie, you got this special commemorative card. And while I have other things from that wonderful day, this card comes with the special memory of seeing a Pokemon movie with my dad in a real theater packed with other fans. And that nostalgia is powerful enough to rocket this card up to the top 5 on my list. If you're a Pokemon fan, as I assume you are because you're watching this video, then you too have wished to earn real gym badges. Not just stickers or magnets, but real, high-quality, official Pokemon gym badges made of metal. And that's exactly what the Pokemon Center Online provided. These are the official gym badges of Hoenn. I was so excited when all that special Pokemon merch was made available to me through the Pokemon Center Online. I knew if there would ever be official gym badges, that the Pokemon Center would have them. I checked almost daily, until one day, there they were. For a whopping $250, but it was well worth the price. The display case is classy and allows for easy access to the badges through the back. The badges are gorgeous. They're made of metal and colored vibrantly, and they are exact replicas of the ones in the games. I could not be more satisfied. These are the perfect way to display my unending love for the Hoenn region. This set is a dream come true, and that is why they are number 4 on my list. Starting off the top 3 is my 10th anniversary Pokédex. This book was a Christmas gift back in 2006. I was absolutely crazy about this book. It contained all the information I could ever want to know about every single Pokemon that existed, and even led me to discover new Pokemon that I didn't know existed. It contained the moves of every Pokemon, stats of every Pokemon, where to find them, their method of evolution, and more. I lived by this book. When I wasn't playing the games, I was reading this book, just marveling at the artwork and scale of the Pokemon world. I would flip to some of my favorite Pokemon just to look at them, or check to make sure that a Pokemon would actually evolve at level 50, secretly hoping that I read it wrong or that it magically changed because 50 was a very high level for me. The book is durable and has stood the test of time. If I ever want to briefly relive those days, I open up my trusty old book, and that's why it's number 3 on my list. The last double on my list is my Pokemon X and Y Special Edition 3DS XL. And right next to it, my black new 3DS with Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire plates. These two devices are what I've played the most Pokemon on. Starting with the X and Y blue 3DS, I ventured into the Kalos region, where Pokemon went 3D. This was the first time I had ever experienced Pokemon in 3D, and it was incredible. I do miss the old style, but 3D is getting better, and Generation 6 had a special charm about them. I brought this thing everywhere with me. It was my first Pokemon-themed console I had ever owned, and I was in love. It's beautiful. I felt like the coolest kid in the world. I even brought this with me to school, I loved it so much. High school. Other kids probably thought I was lame, but I didn't care. Then, just when I thought it couldn't get any better, I got the new 3DS with interchangeable faceplates. I got the black new 3DS on Black Friday, and shortly after that, I bought special Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire faceplates. Being a Hoenn region fanatic, I was finally able to make my dream 3DS. On this 3DS, I completed a living National Pokédex for the first time, broke 1,000 hours in a single Pokemon game, and learned competitive Pokemon. This was my game system. It's everything to me. I still play it to this day, and actually caught 2 shiny Porygon a few months ago. Being able to play in the Hoenn region for a second time, in 3D, on a Hoenn region themed console was yet another dream come true. And that is why this device and the X and Y Blue Special Edition device are number 2 on my list. And finally, I present to you my most prized Pokemon possession, the first Pokemon thing I ever owned, and a humble Christmas gift from my dad, Pokemon Emerald. He bought it pre-owned because he wasn't sure if I would like it, so I don't have the actual box, even though I desperately wish I do. But he made a special box for it, and that makes it even more special. On top of that, we recently discovered this collector's tin at a retro game store, and that can serve as the box for it. It has a special flyer in it, a Battle Frontier booklet, and a super cool card. For any of you who know me, you know the list would always end with this. Emerald was the first Pokemon game I ever played, and it changed my life. It taught me to try new things, taught me how to read, and it taught me to never give up, even though the Elite Four was the hardest challenge I had ever faced in any video game before that. This game shaped my life, made me the Pokemon fanatic I am today. And, like I said, I credit this game as the spark that ignited my passion for video games in general. I would not be who I am today without this game. I love everything about it. The color of the cartridge, the ability to play it anywhere, the music, the cool Pokemon, the style, the adventure, the story. I could talk about this game and the Hoenn region for hours. And that is why this is the number 1 coolest Pokemon thing I own. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Let me know what you thought in the comments below, and tell me what your list would be, or how you would order my list differently. Also, if you don't want to do the whole list, just tell me what your number 1 would be. Subscribe for a variety of other gaming content, and I will see you in the next video.